Okay, I believe we are live in all the platforms that we are connected with. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, great and wonderful people of Biafra, lovers of freedom all over the world. I greet you according to your place of domicile and I welcome you to this program. While you are joining, share the video and invite others to join. Let's make sure we are online. Now we're especially on Facebook. Okay, I believe we are live on Facebook. Are we coming out clear? Correct. So, great and wonderful people of Biafra, lovers of freedom, I welcome you to this evening and morning or afternoon, depending on where you are watching from. If you are joining us, share the video, invite others to join. If you are joining us for the first time, don't forget to follow the page. Don't forget to follow the page. Of course, we are live on Facebook at Judge Money Blog. We are live on YouTube at Judge Money Blog Africa. We are live and it is It is 6 minutes before the top of the hour, regardless of where you are. We are live and we are direct. If you are watching on Facebook, share the video, invite others to join. Of course, we know the story of Facebook. I don't know what they are up to these days, but it has been what we are grappling with. It is nothing new, so we must continue. Actually, we're not going to be actually bringing a lot of people. We're going to use what we're getting, because we are at war. We are at war, and I believe the social platforms is at war with us. So all you can do is to share the video and invite other people to join. If you are watching on YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook, share the video, invite others to join. Very, very important. So, the reason why I am here this evening, this morning, this afternoon, depending on where you are watching from, of course, you can see we didn't have any much thing. It's not like we don't have things to talk about. We are going to touch on some certain things. I did not make a poster today because it is important for us to, pay tribute to our late comrade, Austrian man, because he's been fighting. We've been fighting together to restore the land of Elohim in the face of the planet. Of course, he couldn't continue the fight. I believe that he will continue fighting on the other side. I believe he will continue fighting from the other side, because old soldier never died. Very, very important. We're going to actually have a minute silent before we proceed, for the sake of our late comrade, Austrian Page. He fought for the freedom of our people. So we will honor the dead with a minute silent. Okay, thank you, great and wonderful people of Biafra, lovers of freedom all over the world. It is it is sad. It is very, very sad that we lost yet another comrade. It is very, very sad because the one we lost, we heard his voice recently on Radio Biafra, with as if he is okay. When we hear his voice was quite convincing that he's going to make it, that is going to actually defeat the deadly disease or the deadliest illness called cancer. But of course, we did not know that he is going to leave us behind. But of course, we are in the quest for freedom. I believe that his children will be the ones actually to gain the benefit of this freedom that he has fought for them over the years. He has fought gallantly, unrelentlessly. He has fought like a soldier in the battlefield, but was taken from us even when we never expected. He's gone so soon. And whenever we talk about the death of a young man such as Austrian man, you will understand that Nigeria is always to be blamed. Because if it's not because of the type of life that we are exposed to in Nigeria, the type of suffering, the type of poverty that we are exposed to in Nigeria, you will agree with me that due to such poverties that we have been exposed to from Nigeria, even from some of us are from birth. Once they came into this world, they started experiencing suffering. They started experiencing poverty. So, some of us, it made us to be, very, very busy fighting to eliminate this poverty, fighting to make sure we put food on our table, fighting to make sure that we actually build a house to live, fighting to make sure that we are alive, because the government we called our own never ever cared about us, which is the government of Nigeria. Prior to the time they had their glorified independent, instead of calling it independent, when they transitioned into the structure of neocolonialism. That is actually the time people started experiencing the worst poverty, suffering, inequality, police brutality. All these things will make people to do everything to actually live and survive and put food on their table. Now, the reason why I will tell you that Nigeria is always cause of all these young people dying, it is because if you look around you, you will know that everything that our people do, they are under pressure. Under pressure. Number one, there is African tax to pay. African tax to pay. And this is exactly what every especially people from sub-Saharan, people from Ghana, Cameroon, maybe, and people from Ghana, Cameroon, Nigeria, within that Sahel region, you will understand that people from that area, they are always under pressure because they recognize African tax more than any other thing, because it is these people who will actually say, no, I want to make sure that my mom doesn't suffer the way I found her suffering when I was growing up, selling her wrappers in order to put food on our table. I want to make sure that my dad have the best life from me. I wouldn't want them to suffer. That is what most of us, tell ourselves. And when we go out there to make a better life or to in the search of a greener pasture, there is one thing we always forget. There is one thing that we always forget. In the quest or in the search for greener pasture, we have always forget to take care of ourselves. We always forget to actually check our health, because we believe as long as we are alive, the way you are as a child, you will suffer from malaria, typhoid, you will self-medicate from home. When you do all that, it helps you, you will eventually recover with the fake drugs that they give you in Nigeria. And at the end of it, you might recover. And we grew up like that. Most of us, we grew up like that. When we have some certain, when we have headache, we say it will go. It will go. I don't need to drink medication. Maybe I'm hungry, or maybe you will find something to just brush it away without you knowing that as a human being, the way sometimes your vehicle breaks down, it is the way you are bound to break down at some point because of the stress, because of there are illnesses that are in the system that you will not actually discover. Maybe you see the symptoms. We only discover these problems when they are deteriorated, because we are born to be under pressure. We were born to be under pressure. And every time that we suffer any type of ailment, we self-medicated. We grew up believing that our immune system is still the way it was when we were small. So all these things were building up. And we grew up, we forgot to take care of ourselves. Because you want to bring happiness to the family. You want to make name for the family. And in doing all that, you found out that you forgot to look after yourself. So, I am using my comrade, Austrian man, as a point of contact to tell our people, in all that you do, everything that you do, don't forget to take care of yourself. Don't forget to look after your health. Don't forget to see your doctor, because as an ambochoya, because if I look at, if I actually imagine how this comrade was gone so soon, the only thing I am actually realizing, the only thing I am thinking about is that maybe he's been going through this. He didn't know, he never knew what it was until it became very severe. That he died very young. And that is applicable to every one of us if we don't take care of ourselves. It is not about work. Asị na alapụ ndụ kpaa akụ, onye ilo elie nyawa akụ. Ịrapụ ndụ kpaa akụ, onye ilo elie nyawa akụ. Okay, sorry about that. So, as I was saying, very, very important. It is very, very important whenever whatever you are doing in life, don't forget to look after yourself. If you have a headache, go and treat such headache. If you have a pains, go and find out the reason why such pains were there. Because when you start, a stitch in time saves 9. A stitch in time saves 9. So if you make a hair while the sun is shining, it saves, you from walking in the dark. So let all our people begin to take care of themselves. Death can come to big, small, strong, weak. It doesn't matter. When it comes, it brings you down. That is the reason why you must not forget to take care of yourself while you are under this pressure that Nigeria has placed you. Because Nigeria is the cause of everything. Nigeria want to normalize. They have normalized anything. Poverty, they have normalized it. Insecurity, they have normalized it. Police brutality, they have normalized it. Depriving you of your human rights activities or infringement of human rights, they have normalized it. They have normalized everything that will bring you to suffer. That you are believing that you are still strong because you passed through something worse than this. Something worse than headache. You used to self-medicate. You don't even used to go to hospital. You passed through it. So why can't I pass through this headache? Maybe the things that is causing the headache could be a tumor in the brain. The thing that is causing your face to sweat so much could be a tumor in the brain. So you don't know these things. The reason why you want to walk. At the end of walking, you forget to take care of yourself. When this illness now, when the more it will now be accumulating in your body, weakening your immune system. When your immune system is no longer able to fight it because it has, spreaded all over your body, now you are now going to start to be weak. By the time you get to the hospital, it is already late. Then you will just find out I have such thing. Then the next time you see, the person is normal. Please, our people, we know we have African tax to pay. We know we have our parents, our siblings, our children to look after. Don't forget to take care of yourself while you are taking care of them. It is very, very important. It is very, very important. So, I will say, rest in power, Austrian man. Life is like a school or a marketplace. When you're done buying your goods, you depart. But what the type of goods you bought from the life determines what life is going to write home about you. You have fought gallantly. We must continue the fight. We must continue the fight. And you will be remembered. Great comrade, Austrian man. Rest in power. Until we meet again. So, one thing I want to talk about even this evening, of course, you see, after the coronation of the King Charles III, you heard the Jamaicans, they want actually to be free from this, they want to be removed from the King Charles as the head of state, just like many people kick back saying that he is not their king. Of course, you know, or you remember what I said about his coronation, before his coronation, because I know that people have already woken up and they will continue to wake up as long as this neo-colonial structure is still destroying our lives, destroying our future, because it is built to promote the benefit of Europeans and the United States. Of course, Jamaicans are those who was actually taken for slavery and take them and was dumped in that place, in that island, I believe, called Jamaica. And they've been suffering, and if you look at them, you will understand that these people are actually, you don't need to do DNA to know that these are your brothers, man. So at the end of the day, they want to be free from this monarchy or monarch. They want to be free. They want to actually, because the consciousness is something that when it wakes up, you will demand your freedom. Because a person who is in captivity is a person, except a person who is in mind captivity, the only thing that will take them out of mind captivity, it is when their consciousness is actually awakened. Then they will start demanding and they will start speaking like people, no longer speaking like a lame people. Of course, we are not used to seeing African leaders kicking back against some policies that is made by Europe and America. But today we are seeing them because their consciousness is being awoken. Of course, there are some of them who are still double agents, and they are still in your midst. They are still working in your midst because of them being double agent. It is difficult for them to kick back against anything that is thrown at their people. They are just there because they were placed there for the benefit of the master. Those people, of course, we know many of them. But it is very, very important that for you to know, as if you are an African, the only thing that will take us out of this bondage that we have found ourselves in the last centuries, it is only consistency. Consistency, because the enemy, what they do is that when they see that you have what it takes, and then they will use the next person next to you to bring you down, to make sure that you do not establish whatever you have in mind that will enable your people to thrive. They will use the next person to bring you down. So one thing I want to make African leaders understand, and the reason why we are fighting for our freedom, it is because if you look around you, you will understand that most of the presidents in Africa, they are kicking back against the Western policy that does not benefit Africa, except Nigeria. You ask yourself, why is Nigeria not kicking back against this policy? Rather, they are embracing it. Just like Buhari will say that if you don't follow the ways of America, that you will not get it wrong in democratic dispensation. That is exactly promoting the ways of the oppressor. We have seen that coming. We have seen it very many years. The last 50 years, that's why that war took place in the 1967, because we have seen that the people that are placed in power or in positions, they are stooge. And when they get there, they become cadres. You cannot touch them. They can kill anybody they want to kill, maim anybody they want to maim. At the end of the day, they will come out of the office, they will work freely, they will become your president emeritus, respected. You pay them pension, huge amount, and they will still have their immunity as an ex-president. In Nigeria, we celebrate our criminals. That's it. And we have seen that these people cannot give us what we want, because we have woken up before any other person in Africa. We started kicking back. We started fighting. The reason why amalgamation was done was to change us, because they know that if we have the power, we will change the fate of Africa. And Nigeria has been a setback that we have. We've had this setback in the last 63 years. Nigeria has been the setback. If I want to start it from the time of amalgamation, I will say that we have had this setback in the last 1 century plus. We've had this setback called Nigeria. They don't kick back at any policy. They don't even understand what policies that does not help Africa to grow, that does not help Africa to thrive. Nigeria does not understand. The only thing Nigeria understands is, do you have the paper? The paper, currency, money, paper money. That's the only language they understand. That's why they will take bribe everywhere. And if you look around you, that has been the problem we have as Africans. It is all about paper. There are many African leaders who could defend Mama Gaddafi. Did they defend them? Including some Nigeria ex-leaders. They could defend Muammar Gaddafi. They couldn't because they saw their conscience. They saw their conscience. They will ask themselves, why will it be this guy? The same way, the same problem of a black man. Why will it be you? Why not me? Because it's always the problem that we have in black society. We want to ask ourselves, why can't I be the one who did it? Even maybe sometimes you might not even know how to do it, but you want to be the one to do it. Why? That is the reason why Africa watch America travel miles away to come and kill their hero, Muammar Gaddafi. And they've been living with it, except now that they have woken up, they began to realize, no, that is wrong. We have to speak. Why were they not speaking all this while? Do you think if Biafrans were in position of Nigeria, we will not speak? We will speak. If heaven is going to fall, let it fall. We speak. We speak and shame the devil. That is the reason why, because Nigeria has been a setback to those who dwell in it. Nigeria does not respect human rights. Nigeria does not respect democratic process. Nigeria does not understand what is peace. They don't want to leave you in peace. They don't want to leave you in pieces. They believe that everything is politics. Everything is politics. In policy making, politics. That is the reason why you find people going to court. Of course, the court will end on the side of it is my turn, Emilokon, because he's been dishing out money. And after all, this is the person that Nigeria from Chatham House. They first endorsed him in Chatham House. This is the things that we need to understand, that you are not the one selecting your leaders. There are people who are selecting the leaders, the cabals. Because this thing of going to court, it is just something that is called formality. It is a formality. That is what you see going to court. It's a formality. You might even be watching court going on. They might swear this Emilokon old man who has a permanent sick bed in the Europe. You might watch him being sworn in as your president. There is nothing you will do except those who are determined to get their freedom. Those are the people who will stand up and kick back and ask for your freedom, because enough of this insult. They cannot continue to impose life that has never been beneficial to you or to anybody that you know. The life that has been taking your lives prematurely. These are the type of life they actually give to you. And you've been dwelling with it. And you are normalizing it. That's why I put up there the culture of ignorance. Because ignorant is the only thing that make people not to realize that mosquito is biting them. They ignore it. They will not realize that death is coming. They will not realize that this is a way to actually do the right thing. That is the ignorant, is the reason why they are chasing after paper money. You know that you have a limit of what you can print actually. They will print extra in order to siphon it, embezzle it. At the end of the day, it is plunging the economic growth of a nation. It is plunging their economic growth, making their currency to lose value. Why? I come to wonder, this system that we have been exposed to in the past century, where a system where they will tell you these people are highest economy, but if you check their currency weight is close to zero to American dollar. It's close to nothing next to American dollar. You see the lower economies, You see, you check their currency. Their currency has weight next to US dollar. Don't you think there is a manipulations there? Don't you think you are not supposed to be manipulated using one currency from one place? It is time for you to make away with this sanctionable policy. Those policy that if somebody will wake up in the morning and will tell you, I sanction Zimbabwe. They sanction Zimbabwe, say, because of Mugabe. Mugabe is long gone. Why is Zimbabwe not out of sanction? The answer is you don't know. Because they want their resources to be, to be smuggled and sell for close to nothing. Sell close to nothing by their corrupt leaders. That's what happens. This is how they play their own politics on African people. They mount their military everywhere. The same places they have military is the same places that is having wars, that is having civil wars. Why? Because these people never meant well for any of you. As long as you are a black person, they don't mean well for you. They never love you. They will never love you. Sometimes you see humanitarians. Some of these humanitarians are coming to actually spy on you. Some of these humanitarians are coming to actually rub it on your face. You believe they are coming to help you. These are hypocrites. That is part of it. You will say, these people are the best people. And whenever something happens, they become humanitarians. Who are the cause of all these things that is happening that would make you need humanitarian? Who are the cause? The same people. Systematically. So if African leaders are waking up, Nigerian leaders are going back to sleep. Championing everything that is oppressing black nations, protecting the system that is killing them, making sure they select the stooge to be on the top position, ruling over the people that have something to offer. People that does not know how to run a country. That's why the media publicity or media advisor to your imposter in Aso Rock will come to tell you that it is not the job of a government to create a job. If it is not the job of a government to create a job, then what is the job of a government? To sit in the position and command the army to go and dance on, command Python to go and dance in the life of 28 able-bodied men in the name of Operation Python Dance. It is the job of a president to send the army to go and shoot people in Lekki Toll Gate. It is the job of a president to make sure there is marginalization. It is the job of a president, but it is not job of a president to create job opportunities. When a president is creating atmosphere that will attract investors to come, what is it? Is it not creating jobs? Because the atmosphere that will attract investors to come is infrastructural development. When there is infrastructural development, things are accessible to people. Businesses are accessible to people. People can actually start businesses. Entrepreneurs can actually thrive because there will be electricity. If there are production or manufacturing companies that they are going into, there is electricity to help them. There is a good road to help them for transport. Not all these dilapidated roads that you find all over the place. There is a good hospital in case of emergency. They don't need to always fly abroad to go and get their people treated. There is a good hospital. But even your hospital, as much as your road is dilapidated as well, you don't have healthcare system. Nothing. Because you don't prioritize the life of people. You prioritize the command of the oppressors, the command of your colonizers. That is it, what Nigeria and its system prioritize. That's why all the security operatives in their apparatus, they are all on the road, collecting bribe, brutalizing people, ripping people of their rights. The court is being manipulated. There is nothing that is actually working in Nigeria. Everything is being interfered with. Policy is politics. There is no policy that is going to be born not out of politics. This type of politics, the politics that is going to benefit few individuals who call themselves politicians. Those are the type of politics they introduce. We've seen that in 1967. We've seen that in 1963. That's when, after, post-colonialism, that's when the struggle began. When the struggle began, 1962, that is exactly when independent of zoological republic called Nigeria was actually actualized in the year 1960. After the year 1960, you know what happened? 1961, the struggle began. 1962, the struggle began to gain momentum. Then 1963, census was conducted because election has already been rigged by Britain. The man who helped Britain to rig election in 1959 actually confessed. He confessed. This is not basic. This is not based on myth and legendary story. This is a story with evidence. The man confessed that he helped Britain to rig election. The first ever democratic election in Nigeria was rigged. Now, 1963, census has to come in. Census has to come in. Census was manipulated so that to give more power to the North. That's why you find them telling you they have 70% or 75% population in Nigeria. They conquered the land mass. They were given the land mass. That's why you will find the only thing that the North, the northern Nigerians, the only thing they have is land mass, not population. Population is audio population, manipulated population. That is the reason why you have seen census being postponed indefinitely. You see all this, all these things that is going on. They don't want to start. They don't want to be under pressure as they are now after rigging the election 2023. Now, if census had happened in the 29th of April, don't you think that will also be another chaos? Because if they count the census, there is election malpractices which was seen. Maybe, of course, there is telephone. People will be taking pictures, taking videos, videoing other people who does not know they are being videoed, and the video will be making round. You will be seeing all these manipulations towards the census. So they have seen that it is a double tension. They decided, no, we're not going down until we have the reason, we have opportunity to manipulate the census. Having also seen that our people traveled home for the sake of the census. No, let's make these people, we will put it when they will not even want to travel. Maybe during Easter season, when the market is on season. That's why they have postponed it. They postponed it indefinitely. It is something, a game, like a game that these people are playing with the lives of our people. And it is only Biafra that will teach Nigeria how to run a country. And it is only in Biafra land, not in Nigeria, because the system, the evil that is holding Nigeria down, that evil is very, very strong. The force that is holding Nigeria down, it is very, very strong force. And for that force to leave Nigeria, it is the the disintegration of that, country called Nigeria, which is destruction of that evil amalgamation, to disintegrate the evil amalgamation. Once you do it, it is part of saying no to the British structure. The same way the Jamaicans are saying they don't want British king to be their king. They want to be independent. They are on self-determination right now. But now, some of Africa, we are still championing the structure set up by the neo-colonialists. And at the end of the day, we call ourselves, we are Pan-African, and we call ourselves, no, we have to do this. No, Africa is tribalistic in nature. You can never take it away. It is their nature. Let those who understand themselves, let them be together. It does not have any problem with African unification, open border policy, but in every country that is open, there is open border policy. In Europe, where you people will, want to emulate their open border policy, don't forget that in Europe, you see today, they have their territorial integrity. You never stop them from having open border policy. But you must have your territorial integrity. You must not have a place where somebody, an envoy, British envoy will come to your country, will be dictating for you what you need to be, will be running your country. We don't want such thing. That is the reason why the ex-British envoy called Catriona Lang, she was the one running Nigeria under the imposter they have placed in Aso Rock, with a group of cabals around him, telling him what to do. These were the people running the country. A British envoy. What do you call them? A British ambassador to Nigeria. Is the one that has been running Nigeria in the last, how many years? 5 years. That she's not only, the next one will continue. Where that one stopped, they will go and tell Tinubu, you need to make sure it is your turn 2023. Go and shoot these people in Lekki Tollgate. If you don't stop these people in Lekki Tollgate, it will turn into a revolution. You will not even stand a chance for 2023. Tinubu open fire at you people. Send military under the watch, because Tinubu is the one who placed the man before the imposter in the Aso Rock. True or false? So that is how they're manipulating this, playing this game. How can I be led by an ambassador? They will be your special advisor. When she was leaving, she said, "No, I don't want to leave. I wish I can stay in Nigeria." Why don't you stay? Why did you not stay? Why don't you even go to the village of Nigeria and go and stay? You don't wish to leave because they have given you a lot of bribes that you cannot even, report what you see. Most of the ambassadors in Nigeria are being bribed so that they don't report what they see. Nigeria is where you want to, people will be praying, let them go to be ambassador there. Corrupt individuals. Once you become ambassador in Nigeria, your life has changed. They will bribe you to, they will bribe you that you will never speak the truth again in your life. If you see black, you call it white. That is the type of thing Nigeria do. At the end of the day, people will be dying. People who are supposed to be reporting it, they will not. People who are supposed to know these things, they will not. They will act like as if they don't care, they don't know, they don't hear, they don't see. When they go to Commonwealth or the global stage, they will say everything is okay because they will be also staying in a place, security estates, where they from convoy, one convoy to another convoy. That's how these people are moving. That's how they move. They give them 5-star lives because they have to protect the crime. They have to protect Nigeria. If not the coming of this struggle, if not the coming of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, you will not know that all these evil, atrocious behaviors is taking place in Nigeria. Killing, chopping people. If not the coming of social media, we will not be able to be disseminating these messages. We won't. We won't, because maybe by the time you will get it, you will wait for, or you post it in email, from email to how will you access other people's email? But all these things have come, and that is how African leaders began to wake up. Because of the, this introduction of social media. Social media. Thank God for whoever that created this social media. Even though they mess up sometimes, but thank God for those people who innovated, who have this initiative, because it has helped Africa to wake up. That's why the leaders of Africa now understand what freedom of speech is. Understand what foreign policy is. Because most of them, they don't even know what is foreign policy. They just be a president, they don't know how to make use of the foreign policy. Because they're so scared. But thank God for social media, that they are now beginning to see you can kick back at these people. You can have your freedom of speech. It is not because you speak, they will sanction you. Of course, if they sanction you, we know the reason why they sanction you, because you spoke, you become an activist. That's why they have sanctioned you. We will know, the social media will still tell us. Have you now seen how, it has become? It is very, very important that you know that it is time to be free. And to be free, you need to fight against every colonial structure, every imperial structure. We must fight against them. Otherwise, you will never be free. I don't have much to say this evening, but I wanted to use the opportunity. I wanted to say tribute to my late comrade and use the opportunity to deliver this message. It is time for Africa to be free. It is not about everyday talking. It is about actually taking action. The time of action is now. Don't wait. Don't wait. Don't be controlled. What is those military bases doing in your countries? What are those military bases doing in your country? There is AFRICOM in South Sudan, in Sudan. There are military bases there. Are they not fighting? Did it stop anything? No, it didn't. It will not stop anything. It will not help with anything. But it will just be controlling you from the ground to the top. It doesn't help you with anything. Don't bow to their laws and their policies. It will never help you. Oppressor will never invent anything that will help the oppressed, except if they did it by mistake. It means that it is God. It means that it is God working. if they do it by mistake, such as social media, of course it is money. People are looking for money. They will still bring out things that we would use actually to be free from them. But it is important for all African leaders to support Biafra. Nigeria is not going to, Nigeria is not working towards emancipation and freedom. They are not working towards such. Nigeria, they are not innovative. They are not industrious. Nigeria, the leaders, they will not do anything that will help Africa. They can never implement anything that can help Africa. That is the reason why we have seen this. We have noticed that under Nigeria, we will never make a move. We will never grow as people, as a nation. We will die with our talent. We will die with our knowledge without making use of it to help Africa to grow. So that is the reason why we have decided that we cannot sit on this structure with Nigeria, which Britain, the colonizers, brought us and forced us to be together with. It never helped anybody. It will never help anybody. Rather, you will be seeing people dying prematurely because Nigeria does not know the value of human life. This is where I am going to leave it. If we have time tomorrow, we will come for a normal program. But today, of course, from the attire, we are mourning our comrade. We are mourning our comrade, and we will continue. But will not stop us, because it wouldn't be what he wants from pursuing this cause for freedom. We are calling on African leaders to actually understand that we don't neglect them. But most of the things, most time, the reason why it looks like we neglect them, because a slave cannot save a slave sometimes. When we see them acting like captured people who does not want to be free, there is nothing we believe we'll get out of them. But now we acknowledge them because a lot of them, they have realized it is important to be free as a nation. So we will embrace them. We will recognize them. We will actually, make sure that we inform them that there will be another nation born in Africa. And it is imminent. There is no negotiation. Nothing will stop this nation from being born, the nation of Biafra. We are very determined, and we will continue until we restore our territorial integrity and our greatness. And we call upon all African leaders who understands what freedom is to realize that we actually recognize all of you, but mostly according to your work. We call upon you to support our freedom fighting, because the activities of Biafrans in Africa, it is going to actually elevate Africa the more. If you think about it, from 1967, if we could manufacture the weapon we used to fight British weapon, Russian weapon. If we could manufacture such weapons that we used to kick back for 3 years, we have a lot in the bag to offer. But all we are asking for is give us chance to prove ourselves. Biafra or nothing. Until we meet again. Stay safe. Don't forget to look after yourself. Spend that time. Go and check what is the cause of that headache. Spend that time. Go and check what is the cause of that chest pain. Spend that time. Go and what is the cause of sweating too much. Spend that time. Go and do checkup on yourself. A stitch in time saves 9.